All right, welcome to the Kiss FAQ podcast. I'm ready to start digging into the new Kiss Alive box set in a little bit more depth. Obviously, in the unboxing video, it wasn't my intent to give a full 100% high resolution, high production value reveal of the box because people haven't received it yet, to be perfectly honest. It's shipping. It's currently coming in to people, depending on where they are. So I didn't want to ruin their experience for them, but enough people now have received the box and are already commenting on some of the things that it's fair game, as far as I'm concerned, to start talking about a little bit more about the content. If you have not received your box yet and don't want your experience ruined, turn off the internet, or at least turn off this video right now, because I don't want to ruin your experience. The first thing that kind of comes to mind is something that I didn't receive with mine. And Universal, or whomever is shipping and providing fulfillment for the Alive box, has randomly thrown in bags of Kiss Alive confetti into some packages. So it's completely random, completely unannounced. So there's zero expectation, unlike the Kiss Golden Ticket fiasco of Madison Square Garden, that you're entitled to it. If you're lucky enough to receive it, then you're lucky enough to receive it. I think it has about the same value overall as Kiss air guitar strings. But you know what? I think it's a really nice touch. It's always cool when something like that unexpected, unannounced happens, even if it's something completely meaningless. It's still a gesture, and it's fun. So if you're lucky to get one of those, well, congratulations. I hope it makes your day even better. And if you're not, don't worry, you're really not missing out on a whole lot. No doubt they'll be up on eBay, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're available for purchase after the fact. The low price is $79.95. No, just kidding. Again, well done to whoever thought that would be a fun idea. I think the biggest thing to come out of the unboxing was something that I did know about prior, and that is the kind of bonus live LP set. And an eagle-eyed viewer, thank you very much, did spot that the rear cover credits for that only included 3 sides of audio. Now, before I get into what happens as a result of that, I do want to just say I don't think that was a good idea. And again, I have talked about it in the run-up to the Alive box, going back to when we were thinking about what could go into an Alive box, and that's a fan discussion, not part of the Universal side on that. And to me, something that should have always been included was the King Biscuit Flower Hour Alive broadcast from November the 9th, 1975. It's been one of those things on my collecting, resume, for all intents and purposes, over the years. I did manage to find a pre-FM reel and have it transferred at a very high resolution and the average white band set that night was absolutely spectacular, so check that out. I think one of the songs that they recorded that night, or that was included on that broadcast that night, was included on a official release, Picking Up the Pieces, I think it was, but I'm not in the mood to fact check that before talking about it. So it was a spectacular sounding broadcast. For many years in collectors' circles, King Biscuit had circulated, so it's not like it wasn't available, also in very good, post-FM quality either. So I'd always thought that because it had been kind of thought to be a transitional kind of bit of Alive, making it onto a radio show, and it was the only active national promotion. Obviously, Cadillac's a different story, for the Alive cycle. So I thought it had worth there. Oh yeah, it's got Let Me Know from Cleveland, and there's only part of Cleveland included on that bonus live or leftover scraps disc. So Rock and Roll All Night is supposed to be from Cleveland. I don't know whether that is the case or not. Again, we don't have Cleveland to compare. I have not done the A-B yet on the rest of the shows. So I have done the A-B on, Hotter Than Hell, Firehouse, and Black Diamond and they are definitively from Wildwood. But they have a different edit, different mix, different quite a few differences, actually. So for me, when you lack a side of material, I thought that would have made sense there. And the other gaping missing item from this box is the single edit for Rock and Roll All Night, which, if I recall correctly, well, it was included on the Casablanca singles box, so it was obviously worthy then for that product. Again, different definition and purpose. But where is that? That was their hit single. If nothing else, it would have made a... Well, I've also said that Let Me Know could have been used as a flexi disc. But so could have, the single edit have been used, because, again, I believe that is a different mix, again, to work in radio. So I wouldn't want the mono. In fact, I don't think that was a mono. No, the flip was the studio side, sorry. So those are things that I think are omissions from a box that make it less than 100%. It's still spectacularly good, don't get me wrong. It's absolutely wonderful. It's amazing. It's fantastically constructed. Eddie Kramer's done a great job with the audio. I know there's some questions over Wildwood and the vocals and which vocal track perhaps were used. I haven't had time to dig into that enough. We're going to be busy for a while. It's not just me. There's Ken, I'm sure, is going to do a lot of work on those. He may do mashup videos. I wouldn't be surprised, but there are others who dig into the audio side. But we've got a lot of work ahead of us, a lot of entertainment for those of us who get our kicks that way. So the biggest problem with that blank side of vinyl is not that they decided to do an etching of the band, which I think is perfectly fine. They could have also etched signatures, which they did for the Creatures 12-inch in the UK in 1982. Maybe they don't have the rights. But the image came out backwards. And that, at this stage, I just find, I don't want to say is inexcusable, because in the manufacturing process, as you sign off on things and turn it over to manufacturing, shit happens. I understand that. Sometimes Murphy's Law takes control of your life and things happen. But it is such a shame that quality control did not have that step added into it. After pressing copy number 1, please reverse the image to check that the etching is the right way around. This is what it's supposed to look like. And have an A-B for the guy in the factory, or the supervisor, or the president of the plant, or the CEO, or the Pope to sit and say, yes, that is the correct image. It is facing the correct direction, and you may proceed now and press all of the product. So it's still an expensive product, and it's very disappointing. I think that's going to be, if I could get Jeff Fuhrer on to a podcast just to talk about a few points that weren't covered in the exceptional Kiss Landlocked in Las Vegas interview with him, then I would certainly be asking about, why was, King Biscuit deemed unusable? Were there legal, contractual, or other rights issues that prevented it? Was it a matter of quality? Was it a matter that it was, so overly circulated? What about the single? Was that considered? And if so, why was it rejected? And also, manufacturing process. Is there anything that Universal can do with product to ensure that those sorts of things don't happen? It used to drive fans nuts going back to, Alive 3 was a great example of a release that people liked, but then it had all this stuff inside that was just clearly wrong. Reissues of Creatures of the Night with the wrong songwriter attributions, while providing hilarity for decades, are also annoying. But in terms of a $400+ box set, to have that, I'll understand that people are disappointed. I don't play vinyl. As you can see from the unboxing I did, I just skirted through it because I'm listening to a digital copy. I don't listen to vinyl. I have no interest in sitting there flipping over an album every 20 minutes or so in order to listen to an 80-minute show. That, to me, is Chinese water torture. And I've just moved past that stage. It used to be fun when I was 15, get an Angel LP, and flip it on and flip it over, or Def Leppard. So the only things I flip these days are pancakes. So that's a disappointment, but it doesn't impact the enjoyment of the rest of the music on that LP set. Trust me when I say Cleveland, even as impartial as it is, includes the most important, in my mind, part of the show with Ace's solo. I said this, I think, on the unboxing video. At speed, Cleveland, you get Ace's solo, you get Cold Chin, you get 100,000 Years, you get Preacher, you get drum solo, and that really is the pre-crescendo part of the concert. The downside is how good it sounds. So, it again, from a selfish and ignorant, because I'm not part of the discussions and I have no visibility into the decision-making process, why couldn't you have the bombastic sounding Let Me Know? It's completely different than Kobo, completely different drum pattern being played. UAB Let Me Know from King Biscuit or Cleveland with the Kobo performance, very, very different, even though they're only a month apart. So there's going to be a lot to investigate. There's going to be a lot to talk about. We'll be doing a show this weekend. Hopefully everyone on the panel will have received their boxes by then, or at least have had time to dig into the music for some of the highs and lows. Well, not lows, the highs and highers, because we love Kiss. For the box set, and those guys, some of them care more than I do about the contents that come with the box, so you never get me waxing lyrical about box set contents, because I just don't really give a toss. It is the music to me, and I'm going to go listen to some. So, there we are, another Kiss product, another goof, but there you go. It happens. Is it really going to impact your enjoyment of the box set? I hope not. Though that blank side of vinyl may leave you wondering or pondering, what if?